When the body prepares for sleep, it shifts into a different rhythm, slowing down many active processes while focusing on repair, hormone balance, and deep rest. But for many people, this natural rhythm gets interrupted by a sudden and frustrating urge to urinate during the night. This is often linked to a condition known as nocturia, where the bladder signals the brain multiple times during sleep, forcing you to wake up again and again. What many don't realize is that this is not just a minor inconvenience. It directly affects the quality of your sleep, your energy levels the next day, and even your long-term health. The bladder is not just a simple storage organ. It is part of a highly coordinated system involving the kidneys, nervous system, hormones, and muscles. During the night, your body is supposed to produce less urine due to the release of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, which helps conserve fluid so you can sleep uninterrupted. However, when this balance is disturbed, whether due to lifestyle habits, aging, or internal imbalances, the bladder fills more quickly than it should. This leads to repeated awakenings, often at the deepest stages of sleep when your body needs rest the most. One of the most common causes is fluid timing. Many people consume large amounts of water, tea, or other beverages in the evening, thinking it is healthy. While hydration is important, the timing matters just as much as the quantity. Drinking too close to bedtime places extra pressure on the bladder when you lie down. Similarly, caffeine in certain drinks act as diuretics, increasing urine production and irritating the bladder lining, making it more sensitive and reactive during the night. Another overlooked factor is the strength and coordination of the pelvic muscles. Even if the bladder is not completely full, weak control can send premature signals to the brain, creating a sense of urgency. Over time, this trains the body into a habit of waking up unnecessarily. Age also plays a role, as bladder capacity can decrease, and sleep becomes lighter, making it easier for even small signals to wake you up. What makes this issue more serious is how it disrupts the natural sleep cycle. Deep sleep stages are essential for physical recovery, immune strength, and mental clarity. When sleep is broken repeatedly, the body struggles to repair itself properly. You may notice fatigue, irritability, poor concentration, and even weakened resistance to illness. Over time, this can contribute to broader health concerns, including stress imbalance and reduced overall well-being. There is also a strong connection between the brain and the bladder. The nervous system controls when the bladder should relax and when it should empty. If the body is under stress or the mind is overstimulated, this communication becomes more sensitive and reactive. As a result, even a small amount of urine can trigger a wake-up signal, not because the bladder is full, but because the system is over-alert. Understanding these underlying causes is the first step toward change. Instead of seeing nighttime urination as something random or unavoidable, it becomes clear that it is often the result of patterns that can be adjusted. By becoming aware of how your body behaves before sleep, what you drink, how you relax, and how your system is functioning, you begin to take back control of your nights. This awareness sets the foundation for a simple but powerful shift in habits that can restore deeper, uninterrupted sleep and improve your overall health. And once you understand what is really happening inside your body, you are already one step closer to resetting your bladder the right way tonight. The control you have over your bladder at night is more connected to your body than you might think. And one of the most important yet often ignored parts of this control lies in a group of muscles most people rarely pay attention to. These are the pelvic floor muscles, a supportive network that sits at the base of your pelvis and plays a critical role in holding and releasing urine at the right time. When these muscles are strong and responsive, they help the bladder stay calm and controlled throughout the night. But when they become weak or uncoordinated, the bladder can send signals too early, creating that sudden urge to wake up even when it's not completely full. Many people assume that nighttime urination is only about how much water they drink or how their kidneys function, but the truth is that muscle control is just as important. The bladder relies on these pelvic muscles to stay closed and relaxed while it fills. If the support system underneath is not functioning properly, even a small amount of pressure can trigger urgency. This is why some individuals feel like they need to urinate frequently, even if the volume is low. Over time, this pattern can train the brain into thinking that waking up at night is normal, reinforcing the cycle again and again. A simple and effective way to rebuild this control is through Kegel exercises, which are specifically designed to strengthen the muscles responsible for bladder support. These exercises involve gently contracting and holding the muscles you would normally use to stop urination, then releasing them in a controlled way. What makes them powerful is their ability to restore awareness and strength without requiring any equipment or major effort. When practiced consistently, they improve the communication between the bladder and the brain, allowing signals to become more accurate and less reactive. However, it's not just about tightening these muscles, it's about learning proper control. Many people unknowingly perform these exercises incorrectly by tightening the abdomen, thighs, or glutes instead of isolating the pelvic floor. True effectiveness comes from slow, focused contractions combined with relaxed breathing. This not only strengthens the muscles, but also teaches the body how to stay calm under pressure, which is exactly what's needed during the night. Another important factor is consistency. Just like any muscle in the body, the pelvic floor requires regular use to become stronger. Practicing a few minutes in the morning and again before bed can gradually improve bladder stability. Over time, you may notice fewer sudden urges, better control, and longer periods of uninterrupted sleep. This is because the bladder begins to trust the support system again, reducing unnecessary signals that wake you up. There is also a deeper connection between these muscles and overall body tension. When the body is stressed, the pelvic floor can either become too tight or too weak, both of which can interfere with proper bladder function. This is why combining muscle training with relaxation is essential. A balanced pelvic floor is not just strong, it is flexible and responsive, able to hold when needed and relax when appropriate. As this strength builds, something subtle but powerful begins to change. The urgency that once felt uncontrollable becomes manageable. The repeated wake-ups that disrupted your sleep start to decrease. You begin to feel a sense of control that was missing before, not because the bladder suddenly changed, but because the system supporting it became stronger and more reliable. This shift may seem small at first, but it has a lasting impact. Better bladder control leads to deeper sleep, and deeper sleep supports better energy, mood, and overall health. By focusing on this often overlooked part of the body, you are addressing one of the root causes of nighttime disturbance rather than just managing the symptoms. And as you continue to strengthen and reconnect with these muscles, you are quietly training your body to stay at rest when it matters most, allowing your nights to become more peaceful and uninterrupted. Now that you understand how your body and muscles influence bladder control, the next step is putting that knowledge into a simple action you can do tonight. The goal here is not complicated routines or long exercises, but a short, effective method that helps your bladder empty more completely before you go to sleep. Many people believe that once they urinate before bed, the bladder is fully empty, but in reality, that is often not the case. A small amount of residual urine can remain, and as your body relaxes during sleep, that small amount becomes enough to trigger a wake-up signal. This is where a simple reset routine can make a noticeable difference. The first part of this routine is something known as double voiding. It means you don't just urinate once and walk away. Instead, you go to the bathroom as usual, empty your bladder, then wait for about 20 to 30 seconds. During this pause, stay relaxed, don't rush, and don't strain. Then gently try again. You may be surprised to find that a little more urine comes out. This second release helps clear what was left behind the first time, reducing the chances of your bladder filling up too quickly during the night. It's a small step, but it directly targets one of the most common reasons people wake up unexpectedly. The second part of the routine involves posture and gentle awareness of your body. When you sit or stand to urinate, your body position matters more than you think. A slightly forward-leaning posture, with relaxed shoulders and a calm breath, can help the bladder empty more efficiently. Avoid rushing or pushing forcefully, as that can create tension rather than proper release. The key here is relaxation, allowing the bladder to empty naturally instead of forcing it. When the body feels safe and relaxed, it performs its functions more completely. Another helpful addition is gentle abdominal awareness. After you finish urinating, you can place your hand lightly on your lower abdomen and apply very gentle pressure, not force, just a soft encouragement. This can sometimes help release any remaining urine without straining. It's important to keep this subtle and controlled, as excessive pressure can do more harm than good. Think of it as guiding the body rather than forcing it. Breathing also plays a powerful role in this routine. Slow, deep breathing signals your nervous system to relax, which directly affects bladder behavior. When you inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth, your body shifts into a calmer state. This reduces unnecessary tension in the pelvic area and allows the bladder to empty more fully. Just a few breaths before and after urination can make a noticeable difference in how complete the process feels. What makes this routine effective is its simplicity. It doesn't require special tools, and it doesn't take more than a couple of minutes. Yet, it addresses multiple factors at once: residual urine, muscle relaxation, and nervous system balance. Over time, practicing this consistently before bed trains your body into a new pattern. The bladder begins to empty more efficiently, and the signals that once woke you up during the night start to reduce. It's also important to approach this routine with patience. You may not see a dramatic change on the first night, but with consistency, the improvement becomes more noticeable. Your body learns through repetition, and each night you follow this routine, you are reinforcing a healthier pattern. This small habit, done at the right time, can create a ripple effect throughout your night. Fewer interruptions mean deeper sleep, and deeper sleep supports better recovery, sharper focus, and improved overall well-being. Instead of reacting to the problem after it wakes you up, you are preventing it before it even begins. And by taking just a couple of mindful minutes before bed, you give your body the chance to rest fully, allowing your sleep to become more continuous, more restorative, and far more peaceful. One of the biggest misunderstandings people have when dealing with nighttime urination is the idea that the solution is simply to drink less water. While it might seem logical, this approach can actually create new problems without truly fixing the root cause. Your body depends on proper hydration for nearly every function, including digestion, circulation, temperature control, and even how efficiently your bladder works. The real key is not cutting down water completely, but understanding when and how to drink it in a way that supports your body's natural rhythm. Throughout the day, your body is active, upright, and constantly processing fluids. This is the ideal time to hydrate properly, allowing your kidneys to filter waste and your bladder to empty regularly without pressure. However, as evening approaches, your body begins to slow down and prepare for rest. If large amounts of fluid are consumed during this time, especially within 1 to 2 hours before bed, the body doesn't have enough time to process and eliminate it efficiently. As a result, that excess fluid ends up in your bladder right when you are trying to sleep. Another important factor is the type of fluids you consume. Not all drinks affect your bladder in the same way. Beverages containing caffeine, such as tea, coffee, and certain soft drinks, act as stimulants and diuretics. This means they not only increase urine production, but also make the bladder more sensitive. Even a small amount in the evening can lead to more frequent urges during the night. Similarly, sugary or acidic drinks can irritate the bladder lining, causing it to react more quickly and send signals to the brain before it is actually full. It's also worth understanding how your body redistributes fluids when you lie down. During the day, especially if you spend long hours sitting or standing, fluid can accumulate in your lower body, particularly in the legs. When you lie down at night, this fluid shifts back into circulation and is processed by the kidneys, increasing urine production. This is why some people feel the urge to urinate shortly after going to bed, even if they haven't had much to drink right before sleep. Managing this process can be as simple as elevating your legs for a short period in the evening or staying lightly active to encourage proper circulation before bedtime. Timing, therefore, becomes your strongest tool. Drinking enough water earlier in the day ensures that your body stays hydrated without overloading your system at night. Gradually reducing fluid intake as bedtime approaches allows your body to process what you've already consumed, so your bladder is not under pressure when you lie down. This balanced approach supports both hydration and uninterrupted sleep, rather than forcing you to choose one over the other. There is also a subtle but important connection between hydration and bladder training. When you drink at consistent times during the day, your bladder adapts to a predictable pattern. This reduces sudden urges and helps your body anticipate when it needs to empty. On the other hand, irregular or excessive drinking late in the evening disrupts this pattern, making your bladder more reactive and less controlled during the night. Many people who struggle with waking up at night also unknowingly create a cycle by drinking water every time they wake up feeling thirsty. While it may feel necessary, this habit can reinforce the problem by adding more fluid into the system at the wrong time. Instead, focusing on proper hydration during the day reduces nighttime thirst and helps break this cycle naturally. When you begin to apply these small but powerful adjustments, you may notice a gradual change. The urgency that once interrupted your sleep becomes less frequent. your body starts to settle into a more stable rhythm where hydration supports rest instead of disrupting it. You wake up feeling more refreshed, not because you drank less, but because you drank smarter. And by simply shifting when and how you hydrate, you allow your body to align with its natural nighttime balance, making it easier to sleep deeply without unnecessary interruptions. What many people don't realize is that your bladder is not working alone during the night. It is closely connected to your nervous system, which controls how sensitive, reactive, or calm your body feels. If your mind is tense or overstimulated before bed, your body doesn't fully switch into a deep resting state. Instead, it stays slightly alert, and this alertness can make your bladder more active than it needs to be. Even when it isn't full, the signals being sent to your brain can feel urgent enough to wake you up. Throughout the day, your nervous system is often in a more active mode, responding to stress, responsibilities, and constant stimulation. This is completely normal, but the problem begins when that same state carries into the night. When your body remains in this heightened state, it becomes more sensitive to internal signals, including those from the bladder. A small sensation that would normally be ignored during deep sleep suddenly becomes strong enough to pull you out of rest. This is why calming the nervous system before sleep is such a powerful step in improving bladder control at night. When your body shifts into a relaxed state, the communication between your brain and bladder becomes more balanced. Instead of reacting to every minor signal, your body learns to stay at rest until it is truly necessary to wake up. One of the simplest and most effective ways to create this shift is through slow, controlled breathing. When you take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth, your body receives a signal that it is safe to relax. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and recovery. Just a few minutes of this kind of breathing before bed can reduce overall tension and help your body settle into sleep more smoothly. Another helpful approach is gentle mindfulness. This doesn't require anything complicated, just a moment of quiet awareness. Sitting or lying down, you can focus on your breath, your body, or even the feeling of your muscles relaxing one by one. As your attention moves away from stress and into the present moment, your mind becomes quieter. This calm state reduces unnecessary signals in the body, including those that might trigger the urge to urinate. Light stretching can also play a role, especially for releasing physical tension that builds up during the day. Areas like the lower back, hips, and abdomen are closely connected to the pelvic region. When these areas are tight, they can indirectly affect how your bladder behaves. Gentle movements that loosen these muscles can help your body feel more at ease, supporting better control during the night. It's also important to consider your evening environment. Bright screens, loud sounds, and constant activity keep your brain engaged when it should be slowing down. Reducing screen time, dimming the lights, and creating a calm atmosphere signals to your body that it's time to rest. This transition is not just about falling asleep faster, it's about entering a deeper, more stable sleep where unnecessary wake-ups become less likely. Over time, these calming habits begin to reshape how your body responds at night. Instead of being easily triggered, your system becomes more stable and less reactive. The bladder no longer sends urgent signals for minor reasons, and your brain becomes less likely to wake up unless it truly needs to. This creates longer, uninterrupted periods of sleep, allowing your body to complete its natural recovery processes. What's powerful about this approach is that it doesn't force the body, it supports it. Rather than trying to control the bladder directly, you are calming the system that controls it. This creates a deeper and more lasting change, one that improves not only your sleep, but your overall sense of balance and well-being. And by giving your mind and body the chance to fully relax before bed, you allow your entire system to quiet down, making it easier to stay asleep and enjoy a night of true, uninterrupted rest. While many cases of nighttime urination can be improved with better habits, muscle support, and a calmer bedtime routine, it is also important to understand that sometimes the body may be signaling a deeper health concern. Occasional waking during the night can be normal, especially if you drank a lot of fluids late in the evening. But when the problem becomes frequent, persistent, or suddenly worsens, it may be a sign that something else in the body needs attention. The bladder is connected to several systems, including the urinary tract, kidneys, hormones, and in men, the prostate. If any part of this system becomes irritated, inflamed, or imbalanced, it can cause the bladder to become more active than usual. One possible cause is a urinary tract infection, which can make the bladder feel constantly full, even when there is only a small amount of urine inside. People experiencing this condition may notice burning during urination, discomfort in the lower abdomen, or a frequent urge to go to the bathroom both during the day and at night. Another common reason, especially in older men, is an enlarged prostate. As the prostate grows, it can press against the urethra and affect how easily the bladder empties. This may lead to incomplete emptying, which means urine remains in the bladder after going to the bathroom. During the night, this leftover urine can quickly create the urge to urinate again. Many men initially assume that waking up several times a night is simply part of aging, but in reality, it is often related to changes in prostate health that can be managed with proper medical guidance. For some individuals, the bladder itself becomes overly sensitive, a condition sometimes referred to as an overactive bladder. In this situation, the bladder muscles contract too early or too frequently, sending urgent signals to the brain even when the bladder is not completely full. This can lead to sudden urges that feel difficult to control and may interrupt sleep multiple times during the night. Lifestyle adjustments and bladder training can help in some cases, but persistent symptoms may require professional evaluation to determine the best approach. Certain health conditions can also influence nighttime urination indirectly. For example, hormonal imbalances, circulation issues, or sleep disturbances can affect how the body processes fluids overnight. In some cases, medications used for blood pressure or other conditions may increase urine production, which can contribute to nighttime waking. Recognizing these possibilities is important because it reminds us that the bladder is part of a larger system, and changes in one area of the body can influence another. Paying attention to patterns can provide valuable clues. If you notice that the problem started suddenly, is getting worse over time, or is accompanied by pain, discomfort, or unusual symptoms, it may be wise to speak with a healthcare professional. Early attention often makes treatment simpler and more effective. Many bladder-related issues can be managed successfully